Welcome to the official Dokkan Battle free-to-play tier list for 2023. I think it's safe to say that this year has been one of the most amazing years for free-to-play ever in the almost 9-year history of Dokkan Battle. I'm your host, Jay Fanta, and let's get into this. So the last time we did the tier list was at the end of the worldwide celebration back in August. And it seems you guys did like the style of tier list that I did in that video. So we're going to keep it true to this video, which is ranking all the brand new free-to-play units now. And then we'll chuck them all into the final tier list where you can see every single TUR free-to-play unit and above be ranked from worst all the way to Z. In the last 3 months, we have gotten a lot of free-to-play units. Some good, some bad, so let's get into it. So let's start off with AGL Goku. I don't think he's an actual bad card. I think he deserves the A spot, probably in the lower tier of A, so we'll move him across as we fill up this tier list. It is quite a shame that his damage is locked behind Giant Ape power, but luckily his defense isn't, so I don't think it's too bad. And there's some decent linking potential because his name does include Great Ape in it, so not too bad of a free-to-play unit at the end of the day, all things considered. We'll move him alongside though, because right after him, we have AGL Cooler, which the more I've been using, the more I've been enjoying him. I think he's in the higher side of A. His link set is great. Of course, you do need to rely on those additional supers, but when he cooks, he can cook. So I don't mind that. I think the one thing that's leading him to not being an S tier right now is the fact that he's not actually supporting anyone of significance in terms of the Extreme AGL side. There's a lot of Extreme AGL free-to-play units, but in terms of the pay-to-play side, not too many. So until then, I think he's going to be staying in A till now. I will move Goku a little bit further back as we are moving on to our next one, which is Android 21, also in the A tier. Don't get it twisted. A is just slightly above average. B is about mid. So it is, unless they're an S and Z, you're probably not going to see these guys all too much. But Android 21 here, it's a little bit different. She's one of the best partners for the Dokkan Fest exclusive 21, which is pretty good. It still doesn't save her from the lack of defensive capabilities that she does have, but she definitely can do some damage. So she will be staying in A just because she's at least useful for majority of the people. Next up, we have Super Trunks, which is going to be our very first S tier unit. As long as you get that great chance, his defense can grow significantly. You can even chuck him in the 3rd slot and he will just do fine. Not many other Super Trunks contenders as well, so the linking potential is very good for him as well. Actually a very solid free-to-play unit in terms of stats. Now, on the opposite side of the spectrum, we have Ultimate Gohan, which there is definitely a case where you can say he is bad, but for the time being now, I will be putting him in the B tier. Definitely the worst part about him is that there's just been no Majin Buu Saga representation for 2023. Moving along, we have the S tier LR Easy A Super Battle Road Trunks. For a 2nd, 3rd slot unit with dodge chances with the Trunkses, I actually don't think he's that bad. Just not, you know, top tier as I was hoping for, which is why I'm quite disappointed in this card. But in all things considered, it is definitely an upgrade in terms of the ECA. But knowing that LR Super Battle Road Gohan is still technically better than this guy is quite a shame, to be honest. Keeping it on the same tier, we have LR Super Battle Road Gohan. He would be on the lower end of S. The one big problem for him is that the Goku situation and how there isn't really like a top tier unit for him that links really, really well other than the Carnival Goku, which not many people run these days. And the best Goku in the game, World Tournament Goku, doesn't really link that well with this Gohan. And Version C Goku just isn't really that defensively good at the end of 2023, sadly. Next up, we have Deborah Angel, which is probably less used than the Ultimate Gohan in most situations. Otherworld Warriors is not existent, so you will never really be running this guy at the end of the day. And when you do, I guess he will peak. But as of right now, it's just too impossible to use him outside of anything that doesn't require Otherworld Warriors. Maybe one day he will go up into A once Otherworld Warriors has the 200% leader, the free-to-play 120% leader, a Pycon that is just a godly linking partner with him. Maybe one day. Next up is Lags, and I really do enjoy using her. As a free-to-play Super Dragon Ball hero, she does actually very, very fine. High chance to dodge, essentially. Second, third slot unit with multiple super attack potential. She's actually not a bad choice for your Super Dragon Ball Heroes team, especially if you're running a lot of extreme units as well. So she can definitely fit in the A tier. Next up, we have GT18. I think she's actually a high B here. She's a bit counterintuitive because as a free-to-play unit, you only have 5 turns to be defensively good in only the first slot. But being a first slot unit really reduces the amount of damage per turn you even do. So sometimes you're only on the first phase on turn 5, truth be told, on a full free-to-play team, especially her free-to-play teams. And then on pay-to-play, you know, there's definitely cases where 5 turns, especially using her as, like, the front runner, the battles can get quite long. So she becomes a sitting duck at the end of the day, which is not really that good. If she was, like, turn 8, she could have risen the ranks really, really quickly or something like that. I think Hellfighter 17 has some decent potential to be really solid. Of course, the Dokkan Fest unit for him is one big issue, but as like the Candy Vegito Extreme unit, he should be deserving of the same tier as Candy Vegito, which is in the B tier. Now we're moving on to into DB Saga Krillin, which is another S tier free-to-play unit. As only a TUR, there's only respects given to him, especially one that hasn't even easy aid. Seeking super attacks, dodging, additionals. He's got the whole defensive capability package. So there's no reason why not to put him in the S tier. And his EZA might potentially put him into that Z tier. Of course, just lacking a little bit in terms of the attack and defense stat. But other than that, he's super good. Super good. Helps that free-to-play's best teams are like DB Saga and Earthbred Fighters as well. You're probably all been excited for this one. Pilaf, the newest World Tournament LR on JP. Global, you gotta wait a few more months. But Pilaf is a positive Z tier unit. I love that he has 3 options to either be like, you know, defensively really good with the tech orbs, or in terms of damage with the STR orbs, or just in the middle with AGL orbs. It's super good. Orb changing is really nice. Of course, the DB Saga links are really nice. One thing he's missing is literally raised defense, and we are talking like really good. Like really, really good. Especially if you grab AGL orbs and you get quadruple super attacks, which is potentially a possibility. The amount of raised defense you can get on this guy would be insane. So can't wait to see him EZA down the line. Next up, we have the newest LR on free-to-play, which is Broly and Trunks. And what a banger of a card. They are one of the higher tier LRs in the game. Definitely better than Pilaf for the consistency and the extra damage reduction. And even though their link set is a little bit too basic in my opinion, of course, you always want like that weird link that actually provides a lot of stats, such as like All in the Family or like Saiyan Raw or something like that. The amount of defense this guy can get on a regular basis with damage reduction is really good. And he fills in some pretty cool spots for free-to-play teams, such as Power of Wishes, Full Power, which I feel like is an upcoming team, Time Travelers, which has been getting buffs and buffs every single month in Dokkan Battle at this point. And of course, don't forget the damage this guy can have with the high chance to critical, multiple super attacks. He's almost perfect, but if we increase him any more, he's pretty much a Carnival LR or a Dokkan Fest exclusive LRs. So there's definitely some time that they can chill to EZA him. So next unit we have is Towa, and I feel like she's pretty much almost in the same level as the Lags. You might like her more than Lags just because of the support. Overall, they both dodge, they get a solid amount of defense, and they do their own thing. Android 17 from the Tournament of Power may be our first bad unit, and I think there's not much to blame here other than the nuking no start of turn stats and the fact that they aren't ECA'd yet. He has no defensive capabilities as well, other than his 5 dodge that he gets from the hidden potential system, as well as like the additionals, which won't really save him from a super attack. So yeah, he's not that good. And then for the other sibling, Android 18 from the Tournament of Power, I actually think she's leagues above the 17, going in towards the A tier. And the main thing is pretty much inbuilt guard. Literally it. There's of course still problems with her being orb hungry. You do need an Android 17 on the rotation, which there's obviously some good ones in there, like the TOP Android 1817 or even Ranger 17. I'd say TOP 1817 is harder to use with her just because they're both orb hungry for their max stats. So it can be quite an awkward character. But if you get a decent amount of orbs post-super, she's actually tanking quite well, unlike her brother. Our third last character is Launch and Oolong. They're just there. They get okay stats. Again, they're just there. Not bad per se. Like, you can survive attacks with them if they get their super, but they just don't have any uses right now. So, yeah, again, they're just there. Same as Xenotrunks. I just haven't found any sort of good use for them. He's not worthy in Super Battle Road. Red Zone, his best place, but his stats are just lacking. His damage is just not there. I wouldn't say he's bad because he has some utility, being the Seeking Super Attack, so I'll put him in B, but he's definitely left to be desired for sure. Final unit is Android 18 Link State, which I think is also an A tier unit. She gets about 700,000 plus defense on a double super, amazing support. And because her name is so unique, she has some really good linking potential. So I don't mind putting her in the A tier at all. So those are the new units ranked. Let's chuck them into the main tier list. Starting off with the top 10 worst characters. Luckily, none of the new units were in there. Then we have the bad tier. I tried my best to order as much as I could, but obviously there's so many characters in here that it's just quite impossible. In the B tier here, a lot has changed during the 3 months since the worldwide celebration. A tier, the solid units, but obviously not the most impressive units. The S tier units, easily at least top 50 units for free-to-play. Sounds like a lot, but there is a lot of free-to-play units for sure. And then finally, our Z tier, which are the top 10 free-to-play units. I tried my best ordering this, but there was so many variables in this, whether you run full free-to-play teams with free-to-play units, whether you just dabble in the free-to-play units with, you know, linking them up with pay-to-play units, if you care about damage, defense, or support. There was a lot to consider. I tried my best, and I think I'm the most happy with this in all things considered. So that's going to wrap up the 2023 tier list for Dokkan Battle. Let me know what you guys think. What was your favorite free-to-play unit of this year? But that is going to wrap up today's video. Make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. First link in the description to become a member on this channel to get early videos like this as soon as I upload them. Thank you to all my supporters on screen right now, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay healthy, stay safe, stay fizzy. Peace.